Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports, and it is semi-final time. Currie Cup playoffs, here we go. Delayed a week to ensure that all sides are at full strength, and full strength they really are. Fantastic teams that have been named for this weekend. Absolutely buzzing to get off to some playoff rugby, and regardless of the standard of the competition, the circumstances which led up to the log and stuff like that, at the end of the day, we are going to see four very good Springbok-laden teams take to the field this weekend. And the first game we're going to be having a look at is the Bulls versus the Lions, the Jukskei Derby, the first semi-final, a grudge match which has been quite sort of, in terms of recent times, the dominance has sort of shifted a little bit, because this year it's very much been the Bulls over the Lions, although it's been quite close. Both games have been quite close this season, but the Bulls have kind of sort of reasserted themselves back on the Lions. If you go back the last 5 years, the Lions have had the Bulls number for a while, and have beaten them quite a number of times in Super Rugby and Currie Cup. And the Lions will definitely have taken heart out of both their performances against the Bulls side, which is the form side of the country. But now it is playoff rugby, which means that regardless of what, pretty much all form goes out the window, really. Because it's one of those things where you either pitch up or you don't. Can you handle the pressure? Do you have players who can win the big moments? Can somebody stand up and win you a match in the final moments? That was what playoff rugby is all about, and that is what this weekend is about. Before we look at the two teams, please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner there. Make sure you try and subscribe. So we are going to be doing a live watch along. Bulls versus Lions at 2 o'clock. We will then be doing a Western Province versus Sharks game after at 4:30. So make sure you keep it locked on Forever Sports. Come hang out. Let's have a chat. Let's talk about it. Let's watch some great semi-final rugby. And if you look at the teams, we'll start with the Bulls. So over there, so it's a big calls, but it pretty much is the best, definitely probably the 2023 that Jake White can name, with everybody that's fit and available. You know, I mean, eventually you'd like to see Gio Applin come into the side. You're going to have Marcel Garcia come into the side. It is an unbelievably good squad. But if you look at that team 1 through 15, Lido Goboka, he looks back from injury and looks very fit and well. Such a talented player, is very upset the Lions never went for him, but a very good player there to anchor the scrum. Skulky Rasmussen has been impressive as well. Trevor Nyakani, well, we know what he can do. Springbok, for a reason, one of the best titans in the country. If he can, and when he stays fit and he starts playing well, he can be devastating. So it's a very powerful front row, and they are backed up by Sintu Manjesi and Ruan Nokia. Ruan Nokia, for me, is probably been one of the best locks of the entire competition. So very good to see him get some experience in the semi-final. And Sintu Manjesi has grown into his role, and the more he's going to be getting opportunities. So good to see Jake White backing him there as well. The loose trio, we don't have to say enough about. Marco van Staden, Albert Lowe, and Dwayne Vermeulen. They have been formidable, and to have someone like Arno Botha coming off the bench shows you the world class of this. And I mean, and you still got Marcel Garcia. It's an unbelievable amount of depth in the loose forwards. Ivan van Zyl, Morne Steyn, they will be vital this weekend, especially Morne Steyn. He's been there, he's done that. He's playing his 100th provincial game on Saturday in the semi-final. He's been through these situations and more. He's passed the flying colours. He knows exactly what to do. He will be a huge asset within the Bulls side this weekend. Because to be fair, after that, the rest of the backline is still pretty inexperienced, with the exception of Cornel Hendricks, who's obviously we've played Springbok rugby and has really flourished in that move to 12. Stedman Gans, he'll be up against Wandisile Similani, probably one of the most exciting matchups, probably the two on-form outside centers in the country, followed by Lekanya who's been growing, but you know, across the competition, Wandisile Similani and Stedman Gans have been very impressive, and then Trevino Jacobs gets a chance. Kurtley Orenson is back in the side. David Creel starts at full back, so a lot of power, a lot of pace. And you know, I think it's going to be very much an aerial battle. Thankfully, no rain forecast at this stage, so weather hopefully will not play too much a part in terms of a kicking game. But then on the bench, and this again sort of demonstrates the depth in the Bulls squad. You've got Johan Grabela, Jacques Van Rooyen, Morne Smith, so no Marcel van der Merwe, which I don't think is the worst thing, given the fact that he was very poor against the Pumas. Jan Ace, Arno Botha, what a player to come off the bench. Ambrose Papier, another player who's in some very good form, really relishing the attention he's getting from Frida Pierre there at the Bulls. And then Chris Smith, who has proven over the competition that he's a very capable deputy and can come on and definitely influence the game. And then the very widely utilized Marco Jansen van Vuuren, who's a very good utility player, playing against his older side, in fact. So it's a very strong Bulls side, and it'll only get stronger with all the players that are coming in. And in terms of the Lions side, it's a very settled Lions side. So we've got Steve Stolley, who's back from injury. That's a big boost. He's been playing some very good rugby for the Lions before he got injury. injured. And Dylan Smith came in and did very well as well, but I've been very impressed with Tisa Tole. Jakob Asaki has grown into his role as the campaign went. At the start of the campaign, I was a bit sort of worried about him. Slipped a couple of tackles, just a bit sloppy, but he's definitely tightened it up. And Yanni du Plessis, well, I tell you what, I've always been a bit hesitant when it comes to Yanni du Plessis because he's always kind of been a bit of a penalty merchant and sometimes has some very poor discipline issues. But he's been very good for the Lions. He's brought in a wealth of experience, and for somebody of his age, he gets around the park, as does Willem Alberts, who's brought some grunt back to the Lions pack. The Lions pack have always been quite a mobile forward. You think of Warren Whiteley, Jaco Kriel, and how they're so mobile. Willem Alberts has brought that grunt that he will need against such a big Bulls pack. So he's going to be a big boost. As is Marvin Orie, he will command the lineup. Very impressive as well. Rassie Erasmus has even singled him out, saying that he's been playing some good rugby. Jaco Kriel, we still haven't quite seen the best out of him yet, I feel. Hopefully he can try and sort of fix that this weekend, get back to the sort of form that we all know he's capable of. And then Vincent Chituka, one of the most promising youngsters in the country, and Len Masena, a hard worker, not necessarily the most flashy player. You won't always see a lot of him, but he's always contributing. Andre Warner, who's been very good since coming back to injury, he's benched Morne van den Berg, who was a bit of a find of the season really for the Lions. And then Elton Yankees will captain the side. The pivot, the game changer, the game reader, he will be everything this weekend. I'm telling you right now, if the Lions win, it'll probably be because Elton Yankees has a good game. He's that sort of important. When you've looked at Lions in semi-finals and they've won games and they've put some big scores on some very good opposition in playoff situations, he is often up there for man of the match because when he turns it on, he really does turn it on. When he struggles, the team tends to struggle around him. So he will be vital. I'm sure Jake White will be sitting there saying, we need to make sure that Elton Yankees has a bad game. Because if he plays well and he gets that backline firing, the Bulls will be in for a bit of a defensive test, if nothing else. And then Burger Oendal always plays well against Bulls. Still, I think, has quite a lot to prove. And want to see the Similani, as we said earlier, attacking prodigy, finds space out of nothing. He always looks to be able to do something. No matter how much space you give him, you know, he's got a very good skill set, very quick off the mark. Defensively needs a little bit of work probably, and will be put to the test with Steban Gans this weekend. So it'll be sort of, he needs to make sure that his attacking prowess definitely makes up for if there are any defensive vulnerabilities. And then the wings are Courtney Kassan, a lot of pace from him, and Stian Pienaar, not necessarily the fastest wing in the country, not necessarily the biggest, but he packs a punch because he's short, he's stocky, and he's just quite difficult to bring down. You know, he's just a very solid individual. Then Tian Swanepoel, who's probably in line for a player of the season for the Lions. And what's going to be huge is having that boost of Tian Swanepoel, where he's going to have a 60-meter kick at Loftus. You know, the Bulls will know that he can kick pretty much anywhere from their 10-meter onwards. And with having a left foot and the right foot combination, they've been using that to very good effect in the last couple of games. So he will be a massive, also have a big part to play. They're still quite young, still settling in, but he's had some very good individual performances, especially with his boot, which has been the most impressive. Off the bench, Jan Henning Comfort, and then the experience of Ruan Dreyer, Springbok Cat, and Carl Usadi, in my opinion, is probably still the best tight end at the Lions, and will probably push to be a Springbok tight end in the future. Ryan North-Knuckle, Willem van der Slees, quite settled in those roles, you know. Also quite big and physical, not necessarily the most flashy players when they come on, but they will add a lot of work rate and some physicality towards the end. Morne van den Berg, if the Lions need to try and up the tempo, he's the perfect scrum half to come and try and get that going. Dan Creel, nice hard-hitting centre there. Dropped to the bench, fair enough. And then Frankie Horn, a very exciting youngster. So very excited to see that he's been given the chance to play in the Currie Cup semi-final. Let me know what you think is going to happen in the game down below. I'm going to have to back the Lions. I'm going to go the Lions by 7. I think it's going to be a close game, regardless of which way it swings. But I'm going to have to back my boys. I can't wait for this. We'll be live just before 2 o'clock. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep it locked on. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you very soon.